Right.
All right. Hello and welcome everyone to the third, no, this is the fourth Game Dev live stream. Thank you all so much for joining us. Today we are going to be playing Slimy Sewers with the devs, and here with me we have Ben, Chris, Kevin, and Mohan from the Slimy Sewers team, and we're also joined by Kevin and Zach from UBC Esports.
Hello!
What up?
Hello.
Hello.
How's
Yo,
it
yo,
going?
yo.
All right. So before we get into the game, why don't you guys kind of give me like a little introduction of what you worked on Slimy Sewers,
What did we work on?
or like, or no, I mean like individually, like what was your role in the development
okay,
team?
cool.
Sorry. Yeah.
All right. I'll get started. I'm Ben. I was the project team lead. I did a whole lot of programming for it. I did a lot of just like Unity work, getting stuff done. I did the level generator for the random generated levels, and I think I did a couple little pieces of art too. But mostly code. I think that's kind of my thing.
I'll go next. I'm also a programmer. I did well, Ben did like the level generation. I think I coded like some of the gameplay. Like I did some of the enemies.
You
for,
did
like-
most of our characters' movement code, I think, too.
Yeah. Like the characters fighting and movement code, some of it, I guess, yeah. And that's all I did. Like so me
Dude, the
and-
boss fight. Don't forget the boss fight.
yeah, the boss fight. I did the boss fight too. Which is really hard. And so just wait for it, you'll come up to it. But yeah, that's what I Who goes next?
I'll go next. I did the art for the character, and the enemies and animation. And I think that's it. Oh, and the wallpaper for the
Yeah,
loading
that big
screen.
shot we got up there.
Yeah.
For me, I I joined like in second term of this past year, so I couldn't get to work on much, but I did. I guess you could say I worked on like the basis for our item pickup system, and then after
Music?
that, yeah, yeah. After that, I took care of the game's music.
Yeah, you also found me a whole bunch of those sound bites too for the game.
Oh yeah, that too.
You did a lot of stuff.
A little bit of footage for it. And yeah, so the first thing I noticed is that I actually really like the gameplay. It's super fast and super like cool. All right. Oh, I just looked at the controls and then I forgot them.
Enter to attack.
Yeah.
Instant jump.
Yeah. There we go. And then E was the special attack. There we go.
Oh yeah.
All right. So okay. So what was your inspiration for all the goopy enemies?
What was it? I don't remember.
I think we were like thinking about like beforehand, before like the slimes and stuff. We were thinking about like having like them all have masks, but then we had to like kind of scrap that, and we're like, oh yeah, I like the slime ideas that Chris came up with. Like he drew up some enemies, and we're like, okay,
I was just
let's
doing
have
like
more
basic AF mobs. Is what I was doing at first, and then I was like adding a mask to it, and then
Yeah.
we were just throwing these like little general mobs back and forth. We're like, we need like a shooter, we need one that maybe like drips from the ceiling, and maybe one that just stands still and attacks or like follows you around. And then we're just like, we can do slimes for all those.
Yeah, really, we had a bunch of sort of complex ideas for story and stuff, and we kind of just got down to the wire at the end, and Chris had made this slime sprite that was sort of like for testing out our enemies and stuff, to like get stuff going. I think it was to have something to present in January at the conference thing.
Oh yeah, at the Game Tech conference.
Yeah, at Game Tech. And so we basically got down later and we were like, I don't know if we have time to do like sprite sheet animation for a bunch of like human enemies and stuff like that. So why don't we just do a bunch more slimes? That's kind of the discussion, I think. But they're
Yeah,
good
that's
because
the one
you
that's
can
so
locate
tough.
them really easily, and they're very colorful as well. I think that worked out.
Yeah, I do really kind of like the all the color in the game and on the enemies. So I have already died here. Yeah, but I really do like the kind of roguelike idea of like kind of just restarting and getting new power-ups and being able to do new things. Yeah, I noticed in the in like the description of your game on our website, you mentioned that it was kind of inspired by kind of roguelike games. What made you want to like kind of have a roguelike aspect to the game? Like, what was your initial plan for that?
Well, that was Ryan. You
Uh, well,
sorry, I
like,
talked a lot.
I guess, Ben, do you want to say anything? Like,
Sure.
I don't really know what to say. Like,
Okay.
I think we were deciding between concepts, and then, yeah, roguelike came up. I don't know.
Yeah, that was like I think we all sort of got together on the first week, and we were just sort of, what kind of games do you love to play, and what
Isn't
kind
too
of game-
complicated.
What's that?
And isn't too complicated. Like,
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
what kind of
pretty much.
games do you love to play that you think would be fun to make? And I think like all of us thought that roguelikes would be cool. And we came to the second week. I think we just did that kind of like pitch versus pitch sort of thing. Like we had a bunch of people pitch games, and they all sort of had roguelike at their center in some way or close to that. We all thought it would be fun to work on. Like I've always thought it would be fun to work on randomly generated levels as like a little project. And a lot of us just really like the gameplay of roguelikes, so we all kind of agreed early on. Let's try and make one of those. Oh, you
Good
saw
luck on this boss.
oh god.
Yeah.
Yo, that's so bad.
Yeah, so I did get to the boss, and then I got gooped. Yep.
The boss is so difficult. Even I
the
couldn't
boss
beat it.
just dodge the first thing where he basically teleports to you.
The thing
Yep.
is, I'm the one who made the boss fight, and I couldn't even beat it myself. Like, that's the worst part about it.
The boss was added an hour before we submitted the game.
Yeah.
Mohan
You
had
didn't
to
really bug test much.
practice code for a boss fight, and it was late, and it was either like no boss fight or let's just put it in. And at the end, we were just like, yeah, let's just put it in. Like it's
And
kind
it
of,
was like,
but it's fun to have an endpoint, and we sort of stuck it in without really being able to make it work with the level generator, and the coordinate systems are a bit messed up. But it's there, and we get to use the cool animations for it that Chris made, and I think.
yeah.
Oh, speaking of Chris, other Chris is here.
Oh.
Hello.
Hey guys.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris.
What up, Chris?
Hello,
Chris
welcome.
with a K.
So we do have two Chris's currently present. Chris with a K and two Kevins.
We're like, for now, it's Chris with a K.
Yeah. So
I think it's
we'll.
actually a C, but
Yeah. We just called Chris with a K. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I think this might not be a surpassable area because I did notice earlier when I was playing the game you have to go
Oh.
back up.
What is that?
Yeah.
I have a lot of bugs in this game, but I haven't seen that much.
Yeah.
That happened to me before too. Like, there were like some like level generation stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, I couldn't get past some areas. I don't know. I think you have to restart it. if
Yeah,
that
I'll
happens.
I'll just quickly restart. But yeah.
I think that was like one of the other bugs. Like, it's like that was like one of the bugs that was in there. But I think every other one's like a small bug. So yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, I
one
think-
that
I
I
think-
remember.
I remember
Sorry, go ahead.
I was trying to like write a special room to add to the generator for the boss fight at the end, and it was very last second, and I didn't get enough chance to like test it.
Yeah. The boss one was at the last second because I was still finishing up like all the moves the boss would have. I had like 6 moves for the boss, and it was like I did a bend like last minute, like in the last few hours, and then we had to like set it up. It was like like crunch time basically. And like imagine crunch time for like game companies, but for us it's like 2 hours. That was what it was
But the
like.
standards are just like put it in, it's fun, whatever.
Yeah.
That's something we could have changed to. You just saw on the screen. Slime sliding off the roof on
Saw that.
the.
I like the music for the game so far.
I
Yeah.
hope you do because there's only one soundtrack to this game.
It's
But-
good. I think it's chill enough that we can listen to it for a while.
Yeah, definitely. I really do like the soundtrack. It's super like hopping. Like I love the anyway, yeah. So kind of for the Twitch chat, as you can see, you know, the point of the game is to climb up the sewers while getting a bunch of power ups from all the various slimes. So far my favorite power up is definitely the speed up because it just lets you move so fast. Let me see if I can get one here.
Especially if you jump, speed ups are dropped by the green fellas, or like the speedy guys.
Oh,
So yeah, if you kill a couple of those guys, if you get a couple speed ups, and then just try jumping and just hold a direction. This, the green demons do a lot of damage though.
yeah. Yeah, there it is.
Go
But yeah, I noticed that like you can just jump across the
Yeah.
map. But yeah. Man, it makes it like
Really fun.
makes it feel like super fast, and I love like the yeah like that right there. That feels so smooth. I gotta say I do love like how like the game feels fast paced and smooth, which is an amazing combo because it lets you just do. It makes you feel like you can kind of do whatever you want.
Oh, very nice.
That's what we were going for our gameplay. To be really fast paced but feel like controllable, I guess.
So I also
Oh, yeah, you got two power. You got two speeds.
Yeah.
You got to do a long jump. Do a long jump.
okay. I'm just gonna. Ooh. Oh whoa! There we go.
Really good.
Okay, wait. I put myself into a corner.
You put yourself
Yeah.
gotta go fast.
Oh, there we go. Now I can get out of the corner.
Oh my god.
The drop rate might be a little fast, a little high on those, but whatever.
But anyway, yeah. What was I gonna say? I also so I have my regular like enter attack, and I also have like the super attack, which has like more range and appears to do like twice the damage. Yeah, I think that's a really good addition because like I noticed a big thing about fighting the enemies in this game is like your range, right? Is that you have to get kind of
Yeah.
close, and so you have to be really careful to try and hurt them without getting hurt. And I feel like adding like a kind of a way to like to outrange them, but only like temporarily, like not all the time. Really like it makes
Yeah,
it
like
makes the
hiding
combat
them.
a lot of fun. Yeah.
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 You know, I think you might be playing. You know what happened is I think you're playing the version that we handed in.
Oh.
Which was the one, and I remember I handed it in, and then about 5 minutes later, I fixed the bug where the boss room spawns backwards and it locks you out. And I saw you run into that again.
Oh yeah, is
Yeah.
that I think that was on the right here.
Yeah, it happened exactly half the time. So
Oh okay, well that's fine. We'll try again.
it's because
Yeah.
the boss room doesn't flip horizontally, right? So
Oh.
it only works when it appears on the left side of the screen.
Yeah, it was a bug. I think Ben fixed, right? Like,
I fixed it right after we handed it in, but it was like, we missed it.
yeah. There's 80 people watching.
A few other things there. Yes.
Doing good so far, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, I've had some practice, but yeah, what was I gonna say? So a really good thing about like kind of the randomly generated like levels is that you know it has a ton of replayability. Like I know you guys mentioned before you were talking about your favorite games or like the kind of games you wanted to make, and you brought up roguelikes. That's always like, you know, the first thing that comes into my mind with roguelikes is like, you know, you can kind of go through like the same starting area many times and never really get sick of it, right? Because it's always
Yeah.
randomly generated.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a boss. The boss room's on the left this time too. I mean, the right side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Is he over there? Oh, again. Oh well. Here, we'll
Rough.
but luckily
I
we can
mean-
keep trying. I'm still having fun.
I mean,
Sure.
yeah, it's pretty cool still.
Mm.
I wish the sliding attack, like you know how he's walking and attacking at the same time. I wish I would have fixed
Yeah.
that, like the walking.
Oh,
Every
like
time I see that, I'm like, it
oh,
looks like
I
his legs are like sliding, like he's moonwalking.
Yeah. That was sort of like kind of came out of us sort of learning how to do animation as we did this.
Yeah,
This was basically his first game, and
Yeah.
yeah,
because I feel like, yeah, it's our first game, so there's bound to be like a lot of stuff that we want to fix now. But I'm
Yeah.
pretty proud of what it is now that
Sure.
everything's been done. Like, yeah, I'm proud of what I've done with the game, for what we've all done.
yeah.
Going back to that roguelike discussion, I think if I recall correctly, like a big inspiration for several of us when making this game was this video game called Dead Cells. That
oh
was
yeah.
like the whole
Oh, yeah.
idea about the replayability and like having this roguelike feel to it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And, like, it's really art, like kind of like Dust Force as well. If you ever played Dust Force, it's like kind of a similar like art style, and it's the movement is like super clean, and yeah, animation's clean as well.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Zach and Kevin from UBC Esports. What do you guys' kind of initial kind of impressions of the game?
Well, for me, I think like when you mentioned Dead Cells, that was kind of what I was thinking of when I was watching the gameplay. Because yeah, it's like it seems like a really like the combat feels really smooth, and it's like definitely a lot of, like you said, replayability based off of being randomly generated, which is awesome.
Thank you.
You guys said this is your first game ever?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, okay. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, this is super polished. Or I know obviously there's bugs and obviously we can't all be perfect, but like it looked really good from the get-go. So yeah, super impressive. Did you guys have any, or like did any of you have any background in game dev before you started this project?
I did not.
No.
No, that's
I was in the Game Dev Club the year before, and I sort of joined in like, I think in the January, so I joined like halfway through the year. So I helped a team finish a game at the end, but I never done anything like like our Slimy Sewers game.
yeah. I
The
think
game that we were
super
doing
impressive.
that I first worked on was like sort of like a Tetris style game, and I don't think I did very much on that. So
I mean, it's all good, and for like, I mean, I guess this kind of counts as your first game then, and it looks like super good from at least like my perspective. I think a lot of
Great.
people who are tuning in or like who are interested in game dev obviously might be interested in becoming game developers. So in that sense, do you have like any good first tips for like people who are trying to get into it?
Don't worry about the big
Brackies.
stuff.
oh yeah, Brackies on YouTube.
Watch Brackies. Brackies is helpful. I usually search up like whenever we came up with ideas, right? Like the attack animation or like the health system. I usually search up like YouTube videos on how to do it properly. Like first how to do it simply, and then I add like a little twist to it. That's what I do. For me, at least, like that's what I think you should like think about it. Like be creative with what you're doing. Like base it off what's already on. Like what you've seen on YouTube or what you've seen on like watch programming tutorials if you want to be a programmer, and then be creative with it. Try to add your own twist to it. That's what I would say you should do to make it like fun and engaging.
I think I have two things from like the big perspective, and by the way, I think that's a really good point, Mohammed, that you're right. Yeah, because copying things off the internet is basically like how you learn to code, just in general. And, but just from like a broader perspective, if you want to start making games and you don't know where to start, I think first of all, find people who want to do it. Join UBC Game Dev. Just be part of it. Just talk to people. The second thing is just start small. That's one thing that I think might have made this game a little easier to make. Is if, because what you can do when you're in Unity or whatever, or like Game Maker or something, if you have a game making engine, you can pull together like, say a game where you play like a little triangle that flies around the screen and shoots little cubes or whatever. Like really basic stuff, and you learn so much from that little basic stuff that you can spend 3 hours learning a little loop, or you can spend 3 days making a little something, and after that you've got so much knowledge that you can go on and apply when you restart. And I think it's really helpful to do something, be like, all right, cool, I did that, move on, do something else, and just keep building experience and trying things from different angles.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so like I think you should like think small. I agree with you about that. Like, don't think big, like super big. I think we started off thinking big, and then we slowly like put it in. Like we were always thinking to have one level, right? Like yeah, like it was supposed to be like this level, like where you would just run around and fight enemies for like one level, and we were always having to plan that. I think the boss fight came in like near the end, I guess. Like we were thinking about it because like we didn't know how much, like when you're developing, you don't know how much time a game's gonna take, or like how much you can actually add in there.
Yeah.
And you have to like kind of like predetermine that, and sometimes unexpected things happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, just make sure to keep an eye on that when you're developing a game, and also don't give up. That's also something I have to say. If you think your game sucks, don't worry about it. It's just a game too. So yeah, be proud of what you do.
Yeah.
You could be one of the people who be like, oh yeah, I made a game, woohoo.
Yeah.
And that's like super valid, and like by the end of it, as you're like building up the different parts of the game, like you don't even realize it, but when you show it to somebody else who's like not been involved with the development at all, like it just looks super cool, like to me.
Yeah.
And like that's a really good feeling. And obviously there's like a lot of like tear and blood along the way, but that's like all part of the fun. And like speaking of blood and tears, I'm actually curious to hear what like the biggest blocker or challenge you guys had when developing this game.
I want to hear what you guys have to say about this.
Bugs.
Bugs, yeah, obviously. For me, oh yeah, I know. For I think most of us, I think this is before Kevin joined, or like, yeah, I think so. It was movement, like getting the movement right, I guess, because we spent like lots of hours. Like I remember I was sitting down and we had to like do apply force, add force, because like the movement didn't just feel right. It felt off for some reason in the beginning. And then I think Ben did something, I think, with the movement. I'm not exactly sure. But like, yeah. We can't remember. Like, I'd have to look at the code. But like, it was like really messy. Like, it felt off. Like, it was good, but it didn't feel good. And I think that was like one of the biggest obstacles for me. Was trying to figure out how the movement would work in the game to make it like feel fluid, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's kind of easy when you're playing these games to underestimate how hard it is to get a character that's fun to move around with and just like has the right speed and the right size relative to the screen and the right acceleration and stopping and jump height. And there's so many little factors. Like I think our player movement script has like 40 or 50 different variables that we could tweak, and it takes a lot of time to come up with these. So when you're playing games, you gotta appreciate how much time has gone into making those characters move really smoothly, and
Yeah.
it was something I think we kind of all learned.
So does anyone else have anything like Kevin, Chris, or
I
Chris?
feel like my answer is kind of like, I guess you could say biased because I was the one that like joined late, and also I only had like, uh, technically comp sci 110 and 210 to go off of in terms of coding and programming. So of course, like learning how to use Unity for the first time myself was a challenge. But beyond that, I would say it's. I guess for me, I would have to say it would be trying to make things seamless, so to say, or at least not buggy. And I guess that was already mentioned with the whole like bugs are really annoying to deal with, but even then, like for just something as simple as, oh, you pick up the item or like the buff, like I kind of struggled for at least a couple of weeks. I'm like, all right, sure, I picked up this buff. Like, how do I make it disappear? Like, it's not going away from the screen, but stuff like that. And it's like it's a slow learning process that I definitely had to like adapt to when programming and working on this game, which I definitely say it was like really eye opening for me because it I guess really goes to show like how much effort needs to like go into like taking care of a game and programming it to basically like make everything work out and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely.
For me, it was just I'd say the art was a little bit of a struggle because we didn't really have a clear idea of what we wanted it to look like. Well, we kind of had some like stylistic ideas, but we didn't know the theme of the dungeon that we wanted to do. So it was like we didn't even at the beginning we didn't want to do a basement. I think we wanted to go up, maybe.
Yeah, we had
There's like
this very elaborate story idea.
Yeah.
You remember the theater and the weird, like,
If you hear our story,
picture
you
worship
just
and
tell.
stuff.
So like the art direction for the character especially, like it changed. In the beginning it was just like a placeholder, and then oh my god, the jumping.
I got three speed ups, but now I can't. I went too fast, but I ran right into him.
You got to
Yeah.
if you can do it, you can spam them for a while.
Yeah.
Die
Uh,
eventually.
I was gonna say I really like the pacing of the game because so you heal when you're outside of combat for like a little while, but your score actually I noticed slowly decreases as time goes on and power-ups run out. So you're encouraged to go fast, but if you go too fast then you'll make mistakes and you won't heal. So I think it's really interesting because it's like it kind of like it encourages you to find like a really good pace in clearing the dungeon.
Yeah, definitely. I think, yeah, we wanted to encourage like movement, but we also didn't want. We also it was like I think one of our main gameplay aspects is to make you like move really fast all the time, right?
Yeah, that was like one of the first things we talked about is like a game where you've got to run fast, you got to go fast.
Yeah, like Sonic.
I think what's kind of funny is like making a game where everything is supposed to be fast. I think is like another little challenge, because it feels like the sort of the margin for error is, and like it's a melee combat game too. So like, I mean, you can sort of see when you're playing it, there is a bit of a finickiness with like trying to hit slimes without them touching you. And I think that's something that can be definitely like a challenge. If you want to make a game where things go fast, you're making a game where like the movement and acceleration and jumping and stuff like is really important. It's really like it's something you gotta worry about and spend time on. And getting combat to just work at all in a speedy game. Oh no, I'm so sorry, man.
Oh no,
I
that's
could
fine.
frickin' send you another executable if you want.
Well, it's up to you. If you want to, we could switch it, but I think I'm enjoying the dungeon clearing too. So
Methodically murdering squishy jello beasts.
yeah, so I don't mind at all. And if I did beat the boss, I'd probably go back and play it again. So it's cool. But yeah, it actually it kind of reminds me of Rogue Legacy, the combat a bit, because in that it was also like a
Yeah.
lot of like spacing yourself between your enemies and trying to hit them without getting hit. Um, yeah, and that was
Sure.
another roguelike, right? So,
Yeah. I'd say it's a
Yeah.
combination of like Dead Cells and Rogue Legacy.
mhm.
Even though it didn't really apply to this game, I drew a lot of inspiration from Binding of Isaac because that was the only roguelike I knew very well. And it wasn't really related. I think I spent like 2 weeks trying to make the levels generate like Binding of Isaac before I realized that wasn't even what this game wanted.
Oh, looks like we got a question.
We have a
Yeah.
chat question.
Oh, let's see.
Should I read it out?
Yeah, go
Or-
for it.
Yeah,
I often hear that game devs have to cut a lot of things that they originally wanted in the game. How did you guys balance slash choose between the things you wanted to add versus the thing you were ultimately able to add? So like, what did you cut out? Like how were we able to choose?
There is so much.
I guess if we have to answer that, we should probably explain what our original idea was in the story.
yeah,
Let's talk about the story. 'cause
let's
that's
talk
the
about
thing
the
we cut-
pitch.
Let's,
Oh,
that's the thing
God.
we cut out the first thing we cut out, I think, was the story.
Yeah.
we didn't have it. We had like a huge complex story to talk about, but then we just
Yeah.
cut it out because we were running out of time.
There's more world building than it was story because it wasn't like
Yeah.
your character has to do something. It was more like just background information and like kind of like what world he's surviving in.
Yeah, our initial idea was that you were trying to escape some sort of like theater cult, like a cult of people, basically like evil Cirque du Soleil. I think was how I thought of it. That was our initial plan. Was that you'd be fighting these people who had like done something where they were playing in like a play as animals and were going to and got like obsessed with their animal characters and like had started becoming the characters they played. So there are going to be a bunch of like people with weird animal characteristics and like like theater masks on, and you're going to be murdering them. And
Like
we had
human
a whole plan.
style, like half giraffe, half person, that sort of thing.
Yeah, like weird human animal hybrids.
Yeah. And then they were all supposed to have masks. Like what that one slime you see with the mask on.
Yeah, that was the idea.
Like you were supposed to.
And they would like drop the mask, and kind of a gameplay mechanic we were thinking about doing was like making powers inside the mask, so when you
Yeah.
grab the mask that was on the ground, you get a power up related to that mask.
And I think
Yeah,
we placed them
it's
with
whole idea.
syringes.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
The syringe power ups. They were supposed to be masks instead. But then they
Yeah,
were
the syringe even had something to do with it too. Like there was an idea that there was going to be like some element of like the theater people like taking a drug that was turning them into the characters that they thought they were. I don't know. Very elaborate.
Yeah, but then we're like, let's just make it about slimes.
And it was supposed to be like you were abducted. There was also another story element that you were like abducted by a doctor, and you were trying to escape. That's why you're in like a prison outfit, because you got brought down into this dungeon, and you're meant to try to escape the prison. But the doctor's cool with you for whatever reason. He's cool with you escaping, and he brings you back over and over again to your room, where you can just escape again.
Yeah, so that's why he has like the number 8 on him, because he's like
A
tested
prisoner.
number 8 or something, or like
Yeah.
prisoner number 8. So yeah, that would give some context. I guess that's like one of our story elements. Is like, oh yeah, the guy's a prisoner, and he's just trying to escape.
I think to answer the Euphoria Roddin's question, I think really like choosing what to keep and what to lose is about like setting goals. And I think we decided early on our goal would be we're gonna get a level of this game done, and
We needed something to
after
show.
that, yeah, after you have a goal, then it just turns into like sort of like a cost benefit analysis. Like how much time, like say we want different levels. Here's the thing that we talked about. We might have different levels. A fundamental part of different levels would be having different art for the wallpaper and stuff. And the amount of time it was going to take our art team to come up with different art was just like time we didn't have when we needed to come up with animations for things and do stuff like that.
Props to Miranda for the tile art, by the way.
Like we wanted, definitely, yeah. We wanted like a power-up system that was more, I think, complex than what we wound up going with, but we said, okay, we'll do some kind of power-ups, but we'll trim it down to what we can do in time. We can have one syringe art that we can change the color of, and it'll be multiple power-ups. It's really just about like finding what you have time to do and what is really fun, like what people really want to do. Like Mohan really wanted to do a boss fight, and we were like, let's go for a boss fight. Let's do art for the boss. Let's do that stuff, because
that's what I wanted to do, right? And then, Ben really liked level generation and wanted to learn that. So we decided let him do the level generation.
exactly.
Kevin liked to do music, so let him do the music.
Yeah, if we had no one in the team who wanted to do music, we probably would have skipped music.
Yeah.
But that we had someone who was into it was like, oh, that's a priority. Let's do it. It's cool.
Yeah. Basically, we just let people do what they like, and whatever they liked, we kept in, and whatever they didn't like or like we thought wasn't useful at that time, we just cut out.
And sticking to our goal, we want to have one level that you can play from start to finish. I think was helpful.
I'm glad we accomplished that.
We do. I mean, the play to the finish thing, because of that one mission problem, it's a bit tough, but you know, you can get almost there.
Well, yeah, often with like the random level generation, it's something that's like really hard to debug, right? Because it comes down to chance, and like you can play through it like a ton of times and not find a bug. Yeah.
You can do like I ran it for a while. I could like trim it down so it's always one floor that's only 3 rooms long or whatever. And there were some tricks to it, but yeah, it's true. I did have some times where I was like running around for like an hour. Okay, we need to have it happen.
You need it to the boss room. Good luck.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get him.
Just spam it, you'll win.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. But
He glitched.
no,
Oh, as long as
he
you
just
have
doesn't move.
yeah, he's just charging one of his attacks.
Stay away, stay away.
Oh, is he about to?
Yeah.
Slam.
Oh, I got him.
Yeah, you won.
All right, yeah.
Wait. Can I see your final score? 2048? Is that 2048?
2, 3, 4, 6.
2, 3, 4, 6. I was I'm gonna write that down.
All right.
That's the score to beat.
Yeah, we could also switch if you want to play as well and see if you can beat my score. All right.
So when are we getting esports for this?
I think it's esports ready now. I mean, you can't track scores or save the game, but you know.
When are we gonna get the world record high score of Slimy Sewers? I was gonna say also, I really love the death screen kind of, and how it kind of has like a random kind of quip at the end, like out slimed, you got sploshed. I love that. And so it makes dying satisfying, right?
Yeah, that was something I was kind of throwing in at the end that I just thought would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was cute then.
It definitely matches the vibe of the game, I think.
I think the best high score technique is to try and kill all the slime, so I'm gonna try and do that.
Yeah, I do that.
Jesus, getting in between those two shooters is like death.
Oh my god, the shooters are so annoying.
I think my least favorite slime is the one that drops all those like things on your head, because it can instant kill you if like all the bullets hit you.
I thought there were invulnerability frames and stuff, but I guess that didn't work out as planned.
Yeah, those things are dangerous, but at least they're one hit.
It's like for half a second, but they shoot their bullets for like every 1 second. So like you get invincibility frames for like half a second.
Yeah.
And then when they shoot their second bullet, it's like they're gone.
It's like a
And you
glass
get hit
cannon
again.
though. As soon as you hit it once, it's dead.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah.
No, twice. It's twice.
Oh,
I
twice?
got the
Really?
damage. I think the damage up is my favorite, honestly. I always like being able to kill the stuff. Ah!
My favorite has to be like resistance, because I'm like when it comes to like fighting, I'm not really good, so I like defending.
Yeah,
That's
that
usually
makes
how I'm like in team games too. I like being the defender. I like
sense.
the support. That's me. Like if you see me in TF2, I'm usually like the medic.
Oh yeah.
Same.
Hey, nothing wrong with being a medic.
Sure, sure.
Let's go. Oh shit.
um,
Are there any future plans for this, or are you planning to just like shelve this for a bit and take a little breather?
um,
Triple speed.
I think for me at least, I think I'm done with it because yeah, this is like we did what we wanted, I guess. Like if we ever want to do more, we should like get together again and do it. But I think
But Ben's graduating, right? So
yeah, Ben's graduating too, so like he wouldn't have enough time to like do anything. And like I'm gonna join UBC Game Dev like next year too, like or like this year, for next term. If you have it, I don't know.
Oh man,
We'll
you
pray.
stomped my score. 460. No, 4,634. Is that double my score? I think it's double.
Yeah,
It's very close.
Oh.
this is
It's
why
all
you
the-
don't challenge a
Also,
game
but I was
dev.
playing the less bugged version that I did like 2 or 3 bug fixes on after we played, so. And
Oh,
then
yeah,
it's like
true.
that the boss room did spawn on the right side. It was fine.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
We-
think like. What's that?
We all like we've worked like on like we've done like things together. Like we did a game jam once.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. I think we should do more eventually
Yeah, we
sometime. But yeah, I think we're done with like this one. To be honest, I don't know how everyone else feels about it.
Yeah, the way I felt going into it was like, this kind of goes back to what I was saying about if you want to be someone who's making games and you don't know how to do it, to sort of start small and do it a lot, and just do a lot of like restarting and building it again. Because I think, like, going into this, I sort of knew like a lot of us have never made a game before, or basically all of us have never made a game before. We have very different, like, not a lot of experience and a lot of the skills that we need here. So I sort of figured, like, whatever we come up with, it's not going to be something that is like professional, or that wasn't the goal at least. Like, I didn't want. I wasn't thinking that we would try and make something that was like professional and finished. I just thought, like, why don't we make it our plan to just make something we can call finished and try and learn as much as we can on the way, so that when we make our next game, we'll have all our skills. And I think we got to do that pretty well. Like, we learned how to do character movement extensively. Our art team got to learn some things about like sprites and tiles and stuff. And
oh, and the animation
yeah,
toolbar thing in Unity, that was fun. Doing the
yeah,
making the nodes and stuff.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like doing animation. Like I like connecting everything together. That was really fun. Like, if you don't like coding, like I know some people don't like coding, like in our group, don't do it. Like I like coding, but I don't like doing art. So I chose coding. Do the things you like to do if you can, in if you ever make a game. But if you're like a solo one-man team, then just try to like just do like how do I explain this?
do shapes or download free pictures.
Like download it from online if you can, if you're not good at art, or if you don't like doing art, if you don't like doing music. Get it
That's
from
for
online.
Unity as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
And
you.
give pixel art a try.
Oh yeah, yeah.
good picture.
It's pretty easy if you're doing little stuff.
Unity also has a ton of resources and resource packs that you can buy and use for your games.
That is true.
Unlike the Unity store, especially for 3D games. I know, yeah, a lot of people like you can kind of make a 3D game just by like a shooter just by downloading their shooter pack and then downloading their Safari graphic pack or whatever. and it's a really good way to start and learn a lot of stuff with Unity without having to do anything way too technical. Um, but also kind of going back to what Ben said about a good way to start with game development is to start small. I definitely agree with that. A lot of the time when you're making it like a new game, it doesn't really or you're kind of you feel kind of sad about it, or you're not really feeling too good until it's just about done. And then like I mean like I kind of found when you're handing in when you're submitting a game for the thing for like game dev. Um, It'll feel kind of like you're not too sure about it until 10 minutes before you submit, and you're like, yeah, damn, now it's good.
Yeah,
But
once all the bugs get fixed.
yeah, yeah, it's really easy to kind of get disheartened, especially when something is like a difficult bug fixes and they just never
I
want
think
to work.
I
But
think most people get disheartened like when they start it, they're like super excited, and then by the middle like of creating, they get like super tuned out of it because you're making the same thing, and you keep working on the same things over and over and over, and like you want to start trying some like a little new stuff like sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't help, but you got to keep pushing through, I guess, and try keep being creative with it so you can like try new things because you're gonna be tired of doing the same thing over and over. Like it's like with the job too, you'll be tired of doing that too. So I guess and near the end you start pushing yourself to finish it so you can be like, oh yeah, I've completed the game. I think that's how like the entire process works. Like you get excited for it, then there's a burnout,
Yeah.
and then you get excited for it again. That's like the stress time. We gotta finish everything because you want to do it now.
I gotta say, my opinion is actually different from you. I genuinely enjoyed the time I spent working on this game, even if it was just like doing the same thing over and over again. Because for me, the only coding experience I had was from computer science courses at UBC, and I've always wanted to like do some sort of game development. So to like be able to at least have some background knowledge on coding from computer science courses and be able to put it to practical use, even if it was redundant, it was pretty fun. And like that learning experience for me was like whole majority of like my experience with doing game dev. And I didn't really feel burned out. I was like genuinely very interested to see like what more I can do and how much more I can learn through this process and whatnot. And I
Yeah.
really enjoyed the whole thing about it.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Like, I enjoyed some of the coding too. Like, it felt a lot more different than the computer science courses. Like, there was a lot of similar things, but it also felt like I was still learning about a lot of new stuff, and it was pretty awesome too at the same time. Like when you learn about all this stuff, I think the most frustrating part was like just debugging, because I think I was the one out of like everyone in the group who had like the most bugs. I kept coming to Ben and be like, Ben, can you help me with these bugs? I can't figure this out. And it used to be like a one line of code I had to change. It always is.
Run, Ben, run!
you're getting chased.
Just run.
Oh, this is an ice storm run. Oh man.
Oh, we have a question.
Ooh.
Also
What do
from
we got?
Before Rodden, thank you so much, our top fan.
Yeah.
What goals do you have for game development for the next school year, as a whole and also individually?
I guess I would answer it. I'm okay. So let me just say it. I'm doing co-ops. Like I have to sign up for like co-op stuff. So I'm doing that right now. And for that, you need a lot of like projects and personal projects. And so I've been like making a game on the side after this one. It's going good so far. Like
Awesome.
it's I would say it's like a tactical turn-based game. Like it's also 2D. Like it's 2D like this, but instead you like start like in like it's for now I'm just working on the battle system. So you're just focusing on you're the player and you choose a tile to move on. You move there and you choose an attack to do, and you attack the enemy. That's what it is for now. And I really like what's going on with it. Like the player has like fire. It feels like a normal turn-based game, and you have like magic attacks and normal attacks and items, but you just move around tiles and choose the best strategy because like the attacks and magic attacks have ranges. So that's what I've been working on, and I'm also planning to like um, do UBC game dev again, maybe with the same team if they come back to. So yeah,
We all
that's my
moved.
plan. Yeah, everyone like moved. But like it's online now for now, so yeah, maybe they'll come. Or maybe
Yeah.
I'll have a new team. Who knows?
If they let me back inside Canada, I'll come back.
Yeah.
But I don't know about this upcoming school year since it's I don't know. I'm in another country right now, so I don't know if they'll even let me come back in. I don't know. Not sure.
I'm in the same boat as Chris. I also went back to my home country because of the current times. But in terms of my personal plans for game dev, at least for the next like school year, I'm honestly not sure because I was planning on taking a gap year myself anyways. For now, um, so I didn't really have a. I did have a plan of what I wanted to do for my gap year before quarantine happened. After quarantine happened, I'm like back to square one. So I guess for me personally, we'll see.
Ben, what about you?
It's my plan. Well, I am graduating now with my classical history degree. And so that means my goal is basically trying to work in the game industry, which I'm working on today. I'm like going through an interview process at one company, and I'm hoping that I can get work in the games. Doing
Where
more
at? What do you?
man, I
What
wanna do- What's that?
Oh yeah. Where at? What place?
It is Relic Games.
Oh, I've heard of Relic. Sick.
Yeah, dude, they
Oh
make
my God.
RTSs.
That's so
Isn't
good.
that the
So,
studio that did Age of Empires way back?
yeah, Age of Empires.
Oh man, I loved Age of Empires.
Heroes, I played a lot of this week.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
best of luck. to
Age
you.
of Empires is like
Dope.
not fit for a classical history major who is doing
I mean,
game
if you have the experience, I think the jobs matter more than experience. I don't think they look at any degrees. Like if you have like good experience, like in gaming, in game dev, which you do.
Oh
you
yeah,
should
you
have
gotta,
it, like, another
you gotta know
generation.
I put this on my resume.
Yeah,
of course.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That certificate that we got.
Did you put your game jam game on your resume too, or no?
No, I didn't, but I would have shown
Oh.
it to them if they were like.
Oh yeah,
I
Yeah, no more.
said
I
that.
would have put mine too. Like I liked mine.
I think that's another thing is if you are someone who wants to work in the game industry, I don't know if chat is just people in this Discord call, but if you are someone who wants to work in the game industry, then having the experience of just like making games on your on the side on your own or in a little group, it's something you can show to them and say like, hey, I'm like a go-getter. I love games and I'm willing to put in work to like get into it. People love to see that. I think I've talked to a lot of industry people in the last year, and just that's something I've heard over and over again is if you want to work in games, make games, whether you're paid to or not, you know.
Yeah,
Those 24-hour game jam challenge that we did with each other, me, Mohin, and Ben, like challenged each other for like a 24-hour game jam.
I
We
love that.
ended up having some really stupid games, but it was like fun for the day. And
I really liked everyone's games. Like Ben and Chris's were so good. They were so.
mine was just what was it, a rhythm coronavirus smashing game?
Ben, mine was like it was just a boss battle. I just took off because I can't do art, so I just took sprites from online. I'm like, oh yeah, let's do a boss battle with this one too. And Ben's was amazing.
Yeah, it was really good. It was cute.
Ben, how about yours?
I could probably show it on here. I think I have it on my computer.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, sure, definitely.
It's a
If
hard game.
you'd like to go for
Wait a
it.
minute. Can I pass the
Oh.
channel back to you for a bit?
Oh yeah, sure. Here, let me
Yeah, I'm gonna
quickly.
stop stream.
Yeah, here, let me transition.
I
Here,
can't wait to see you guys' reaction.
I'll
to
play a
this
bit.
game.
I'll play for a bit. Let me know when.
When I first heard the
Yeah.
title, it was like
Oh yeah. So we build the games by doing by going to like a random game name generator on the internet.
except for me, I never did that.
One that looked fun to make. And we
And
just
Ben
make
got a
games based on the names.
Ben got a really weird name. Let's just say.
My prompt was Creepy Nudist The Lost Levels. Uh,
Just
so
be
if
his
I
game.
find where I downloaded it, I'll get it back.
Oh, did you delete it?
No, I think it's just on my drive. Yeah, it
Oh
is.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Game jams are definitely a lot of fun. I know at UBC we like last year we hosted the BC game jam, and yeah, it's totally a blast. I didn't participate. I was volunteering there, but I remember someone made a game and they were like, this wasn't my original idea. I kind of scrapped it with like 10 minutes left, and then he showed it and it was just called Bang Die, and it was a game where you just go in and you shoot a single person, and then it says "Bang, he died," and then that's it. And he was like, "And that's it," and he held his arms out, and he got a standing ovation. Everyone loved it.
That's great.
Great.
It's always a
I want
blast.
to do that. I was planning to go to BC Game Jam, but I had computer science stuff to do, so I had to stay
Aw,
really late,
sad life.
and I missed out on it because it was on the weekend. It was bad.
There's
I
always
missed out.
next year.
I paid for it too, but I never got a refund, so which sucks.
But yeah, I definitely if you I definitely say if if you have like some game experience and you just kind of want to screw around and make a game either for your portfolio or just for fun, I think game jams are definitely a really fun way to do that.
Yeah, it just lets you like try a bunch of new stuff you've never tried before and just be like, oh, I know how to do this now. That's cool. Like,
Ben,
I did it really rough and quick, and I learned. I'm streaming now, if you can see it.
Oh yeah, here. Let me switch
do you
back
want to
to.
change do you want to change the title to Creepy Nudist instead of Slimy Sewers? Imagine if someone just comes in here and just sees it.
Yeah, this is the creepy stream. Oh, it's on there. Sweet.
Yep, we should be good.
Yeah, this is my game jam game, Creepy Nudist: The Lost Level. It is very simple. It was a 24-hour game. But it's basically where you just try and make friends by chasing them around the map and cornering them.
I think the text things that he says is like the funniest and like cutest stuff.
He's like yelling, please.
Put the clothes on. That was one of them. Creeper.
And he has
Yeah.
like a friendship meter
I
in the
do
bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be
Like,
my friend.
It's just like, this is sort of how I think it's a good way to think about like game dev when you're making like new games starting out, is trying things you've never tried before that you've wanted to try. I thought it'd be fun to make like a bit of a dialogue system and like try out a lot of text in my game.
Yeah, like this is like this only took 24 hours for Ben to do. Like you can do this stuff in like a short amount of time if you like really work hard on it.
Yeah, I have like less than a year's experience making games.
And he already has like this like, looks like something I would play like in general. I like more levels.
You can find online or whatever.
I'm cold.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, like another thing was trying to say like I want to try making all the art for the game myself. And you can see like if you look closely, these tiny little like pixelated sprites and stuff. Just doing a few YouTube tutorials and like Googling stuff, you can kind of figure out how to do it, and it is surprisingly easy when you get to it.
And he's got the eyes moving too. Like if you like see the little sprites, their eyes move.
Yeah, the little
Go
guys.
side to side when they're running away from you.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the 24-hour thing I think was just like really worth my time. I think the goal with this game is you have to just catch all of them, and then you make all the friends. I think that's the story. Hey, look at that! I did it.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
I never beat the game.
I actually played it quite a lot. I wanted to show people.
Well, yeah, that is definitely awesome. There's also a lot of stories of people who like they make games for game jams, and it gives them like a really good idea, and then they turn it into like an actual huge popular game.
Untitled Goose Game was like that this year, right?
Oh yeah, and that ended up getting like super popular.
Yeah.
That was definitely.
I would dream of making a game like that, but who knows?
Yeah, a lot of the things they start out with like one sort of goofy concept, and the people were like, "Hey, this is actually really fun."
Like who knows? Maybe again, Ben makes this public. It'll be super popular or something.
It is public right now. We're on Twitch, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, true, true, true. But I mean, like, if some people could download it, like everyone,
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
maybe slimy sewers, I guess.
Yes, I'm sewers, dude.
Definitely. Um, so do we
We
have
can throw
any?
it back to that if you want. By the way.
Oh, well, do we have any other questions from the chat about either Slimy Sewers or Game Jams uh, or the nudist game? Uh,
Oh
and
no.
and do we have any other comments from UBC Esports? Oh, you weren't friendly enough.
It's very sad.
No, I think it's been great. I had a blast. I didn't expect to see a game about nudity and making friends, but um, that's it's just an extra cherry on top. But yeah, I had a really good time. Thank you.
No problem. Just to make your day a little brighter.
Yeah,
You know where to find me.
Heaven knows I need it.
Um,
All right. Yeah. So if there are no more questions from the chat, yeah, let me know. It doesn't look like there are. I think we might call the stream here for tonight. Um, but thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you to UBC Esports, Zach and Kevin for being here. It was great to have you guys. And also, yeah, thank you to the Slimy Sewers team for coming in and sharing your game with us.
Thanks
No
for
problem.
having us.
Thanks for having
No
us.
problem.
thank
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Definitely.
It was fun.
Yeah. So this was the last stream that we have scheduled for now, but make sure to all our viewers that you stay tuned for more streams in the future, because we plan to do different things, maybe more collabs with UBC Esports. Oh, you're too sad
Okay,
to
that's
go on.
actually pretty exciting, Joe. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, make sure you keep an eye on our Instagram and Facebook for future streams and future events. Um, and yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm going to
Thanks for
just
watching
check.
Twitch.